welcome to our very first Q&A session with me, with the universe, with my team. And I've just been told your teams are going to play too. How exciting. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get started with your tricky questions. I will have no idea what the answer is, but I'm just going to draw on the information that I'm given and I'll pass it on. And if any of you guys have any information for what's coming through when I'm talking to someone, you can put your hand up and just say, I've got something to say. And your team might even have a message for someone here. So it's all about just getting divine information, helping each other, and just using the resources we have, because it's all here ready for us to use. So Modra, I'm just going to start with you. So hit me with your question. Off you come.
So my question is, what are my spiritual gifts, and how can I most be helpful to others?
So first off, they're like, you know what they are. So of course that means just going within. So I don't really actually know what you do. So tell me a little bit more about what you do.
So what I do is I'm a mom, and I have a technical background, but I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 14 years. I teach yoga, meditation. I do lectures on that and breathing. And starting last November, December, I am trying to get into coaching. And that's how I got to know you, through CCC,
yeah,
and all that.
Okay. So what was the thing that got you interested in coaching?
Well, what got me interested was that I felt like I am the go-to person, even before I taught yoga.
Yep.
And also like after my classes, people will always come and ask me questions. And I wanted to break into that, but I was kind of not sure. So I started running some cleanse programs, like teleseminars, quarterly cleanse programs for last two and a half years. And I realized I'm actually coaching a lot. It's not just about food. It's a lot of self-care. It's a lot of self-love, a lot of self-healing. And
okay, so that's exactly what I got when you first started, is it's all about the self. So this is where you need to go within for yourself, and this is where you're going to be an inspiration for all your clients, is that you can then teach them how, by going within, you can find out what your spiritual gifts are, and how you can help people better. So the way we get this information about how we can help others better is by using what I call external sources, or the messages from outside of us. So it's usually the people who are coming to us. You'll find that there's patterns as to what they're coming to us for. And then you'll also see that those patterns sometimes mirror your own things. So you're working on your own things by attracting people into your coaching world that have similar things to you. So sometimes with a coach, they get a little bit scared about tackling people's issues when they know in the back of their mind that that's something they're dealing with as well. But it's just called law of attraction. You'll attract people to you that'll help you. So you'll be talking to a client and you'll come out with the answer as to what you're meant to know by working with them. So the answer for you is who you're meant to work with and how you're meant to help people is looking at the people who are coming to you already. How are you helping them?
So I basically it's I always tap into what it is that they truly want, and the way I help them is it whatever they make a choice has to be something from within, has to be something that they truly want to, without the noise that we've been brought up with, without the noise that we've been taught all our lives, and more come from within. And then whatever choice they make from there, it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, it's going to be right for them.
Okay, so can you do that for yourself?
I practice that.
Yep.
I practice that, and I do tick off a lot of people culturally and family wise and friends, but I've been practicing that for at least ever since I decided to give up my high paying job and be a stay home mom, because that's what felt right to do.
Yeah. So keep going with that and keep going. So you're asking me what your spiritual gifts are and how you can help people better. You go inside and get that answer. So we have quite a few different voices, and everyone can get information about this for themselves. If you want to write this down, is that in our, we've got our intuition and our gut. That is actually our truth. So if you want to know the truth about something, you go into your stomach and ask there, what is my truth? What is it that I need to know? What is my spiritual gifts? How am I meant to move forward? That's in your gut, and you can ask that. The next one is up here in your chest. So if you want to know about anything to do with what is my passion, what is my joy, what is it that I love, and how this love is going to help people, you go into your chest and you ask your chest. Then if you're wanting to draw on strength and power to be able to do anything, you go to your throat. Now, a lot of us do have issues with our throat because we hold back on our strength and we hold back on our power. So this is where if your throat or your voice starts going, you know that that's you holding back on your power and strength. So, but if you do want power and strength, you just then go to your throat, and that will help you. Then the next one is your intellect, which is your head, pretty much. And we're combining subconscious and conscious mind, because pretty much the subconscious mind records everything that's happened to us. And then what happens is anything that we've learned in this life, we can go into here. So it's like when you're doing an exam or anything like that, you just go into your intellect in your mind. Above that is your higher self. And again, you can always go to your higher self and ask anything up there. And then above that is you've got your angels, your guides, your spirit, God, whoever is above that. Look at all these voices we have that we can draw upon before we even ask anyone what we should do about something. So I want you to do that. And now if there's any negative, what you would call negative voices come up, they're what I call attachments. So they're voices that are from other people that have decided to attach to us. So usually those things are the negative things that we hold on to. You're not good enough, you can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And so that energy attaches to us. And whenever we really need that extra strength or that confirmation, that'll come up because it's in our energy. So all we do if we want to get rid of those negative voices is that we clear our attachments. So can you see for your going within, you've got a lot of different voices to draw upon before you even go outside. So try those and let us know how you go.
Okay.
See, I'm not going to give you the answer because you can get the answer yourself. Does that help?
I guess it's like I was hoping that you would give me the answer.
Well, that's the thing, is that this is something that you can help other people with as well, is that when they come to you, because my voice is, yes, I've got that voice as well, but it's something like by you getting your own ahas and your own messages is so empowering rather than someone telling you something. Does that help?
Yes. My hope is that I want to hear something from my grandma. That's my hope. And I have made this choice that she's going to be the one who guides me. So I'm looking for her.
Well,
so
you know what? All you need to do, no, she can talk to you. So she's up there. And so all you need to do is you close your eyes and you see her face in your mind. And then in your mind, you can telepathically talk to her. So you say to her in your mind, "Hi, Grandma," and whatever the first thought is that comes back to you is her. And you can ask her anything.
Got it.
Okay? Awesome. Yes. Okay, you can do that now while we're having a chat with everyone else. So awesome. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Lanisha.
All right.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Hello.
So I was thinking about the question, and I knew that you were going to say go within and answer it yourself for a lot of them. So I was trying to figure out the right question. But what came up
Okay,
for
so sorry,
me
first up, can I just say there's no right or wrong, good or bad?
right.
Whatever you need to know.
Okay, so recently in the last, I don't know, 24 hours, I've been posting a lot in the one group about these messages and all this stuff that's been happening so quickly. And so I'm wondering if this is a transformation in my business, or if this is just an additional gift that I'm meant to use with my clients that I'm working with. And if that is sort of the reason that everything has slowed down for me to kind of pick up this additional tool to be able to serve more people moving forward.
I'd say it's both, but I think, yeah, I say it's both, but basically what you're trying to say is that, is this now who I am? Is that the question? Rather than, you know, is it just a tool, or is it just now who I am and I've progressed into it? I'll just let you know that pretty much what you're doing is you're just picking up new tools. And this is where I'm not really a big fan of titles, because when you work with the universe and that you are really using inspired ideas and inspired thoughts to really guide you, and using the universal laws to guide you through, is that you change. Well, we've talked about this online. We change so quickly. You can give yourself a title one day and you'll be a different person the next, which is awesome. We do always want to change that way. But in this process that I work with you guys with and all that sort of thing, we change so quickly that there's no way you could even keep up with a title of some sort. So your title is your name, pretty much. And so what happens in this process is that you go with the inspired ideas and the inspired information that you're given. And like you got the other day, you got a message that, oh, maybe instead of using cards to give a reading, I could just give a reading. And so you got that one day, and then I got that for you the next day, and you're like, 2 messages, how many more do I need? And literally straight away it started for you. Mm-hmm. So this is where, yes, it's just another tool, but you'll get so many more coming up. Okay. So many more. So just be prepared, because this has really started to move very quickly once you let this process happen, because you're actually letting go of any kind of what I call human limitations holding you down, and that you're just going with the universal flow, and it's massive. Like, it blows your mind how quickly it goes. So I wouldn't worry too much about, oh, who am I now, or whatever. That's just your human side trying to catch up. So and just letting go of that.
As it applies to like the business stuff, is it, like I said, is it just, I mean, I used it in a call today sort of unknowingly. I didn't purposely do it. I had actually forgotten that this woman had a loved one that had passed over, and we were talking about it, and then boom, there was this message. So it's just like that, just
like that. You can never go into, so when you start doing this work, you go into work with your clients and you don't even know what you're going to do. Like today, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. I don't even know what we're going to do. We just allow the information to come through, and what that person needs to know, we will work on. And that's again where it's based around your name and how you help people. And you know yourself, because you're an energetic marketer. That's your specialty, is that the universe will bring you clients that need that help. Okay. So gift downloaded, universe brings the client. New gift downloaded, universe brings the client. Okay. Works like that. And I don't know if you guys have ever had that experience. We've had it a lot in our coaching group, where everyone's just getting all these people coming to them saying, oh, I've been guided to work with you. I've been seeing all your messages, and I've been woken up at night with your name. Like, this is how this works. And so this is what this energetic marketing is all about, is it's just literally the universe will give you the gift that you're meant to use, the way you're going to help people, and then it'll bring you the people who you're meant to help. Now, again, there's no such thing as competition in this. For some reason, I need to talk about this. There's no such thing as competition in this, because everyone's completely different. So the universe will bring someone to you who aligns with your personality, it's like chemistry. Like, you just connect with people who are like-minded or what have you. And this is where there's no such thing as competition. You'll be given clients who are matched up with you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. Okay. Thank you, darling. Okay, on to Peggy. Yay. Hello, darling.
Hi there, how are you?
Hi, good. What do you got for me?
I have a question. I have several things that occupy my current goals. What do my guides believe I should focus on the most?
Happiness, fun, joy, love. I'm not a big fan of goals. Yes, Roger? Did you want to say?
I was just wondering why she's getting answers.
Hey?
I was wondering why she's getting answers. Why is she getting answers and she doesn't have to go within?
Because it's a simple answer. This is actually a universal law, is about having fun and raising your vibration. And so in actual fact, it's just keeping your vibration and energy at a certain level, if not higher. You know, I talk about in the group about looking at your vibration and measuring it out of 1,000. So, you know, of course, anything under 500 is low vibration, and anything over 500 is where you attract the most of whatever you want. And you align yourself then with whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into your life. So say, for example, if it is this amazing, gorgeous car, you say, okay, so you look at that car and you think, well, what would my vibration need to be at to attract that car? Well, if that car's pretty gorgeous, then it'd probably have to be pretty high. And so the way you raise your vibration is just by having fun. Everyone's fun is different. Now, when it comes to goal setting is really good, but sometimes they can also be quite disappointing if you don't reach them or get them. So my goal for every day is to live every day right now and to focus on right now. And what can I do right now to achieve that level of vibration? What can I do right now to help someone else? What can I do right now to make a difference in the world right this very second? What happens is it brings all your energy right into the present rather than thinking about the past or going into the future. And this is where goals can kind of pull your energy through too much to the future and thinking about the future. Whereas in actual fact, we don't actually have any control of the future. So let's have control of now, right this very minute. Now, when those thoughts come through to us as to, oh, that's a really good idea, why don't we try that? You act on it straight away. Just do it. There's no, when you act on it straight away, there's no thinking. There's no thinking at all. There's no, oh, I can't do that. Or, oh, you know, I could have just gone into this and said, oh, this sounds really scary. I don't want to do that. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to do it because it's going to be fun.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let us know how you go. Alexis. Hello, darling.
Hi.
Hi. What you got for me?
To be honest, I've been going over everything I've learnt and the stuff that we've talked about before, and I'm thinking every question that I'm about to ask, like, oh, you already know the answer. Okay, what else can I ask that I don't necessarily know? And it's like, I don't know. So hit me up with anything that wants to come out, because I don't really have a question at the moment.
I would like you to let Modja know how you got to this level. How do you get the answer from within?
I listen. I stop and I listen. And when you're talking to Lamisha before, talking about how she's using the cards and now she doesn't need the cards, I was like, oh my God, that was me like months ago. And it really is, it's trusting, because trust is a big one. And especially when you have tools in front of you, you think, oh, I should be using these because, you know, that's how I get my answer. That's not how you get the answer. It's only a tool. It's a focus.
Yep.
And that's when I realized that, and, you know, I've read a lot of stuff and I've done a lot. I realized, well, I don't have to have physical tools. My hands are my tools and my brain and my body and my spirit. And everything is, when I stopped trying to think about it, I stopped trying to focus on the outside, and I stopped looking at what everyone else is doing and comparing myself. And I just went I basically started asking myself questions, and I did a lot of energy work, and I did a lot of clearing and healing, and, you know, work with you, and, you know, just everything. And the answers just come to me now. And it's not like I know everything, but when I stop and I go, okay, how can I do this? Or what can I do? Or ask myself questions, and I just go, okay, what do I need to do right now? Oh, go jump on the trampoline.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I did that this morning, 5 minutes. And just instead of focusing, I don't do goals either. It's, you know, everyone's like, I'll set your goal intention for the month or the week or the day. No, it doesn't excite me. And if it doesn't excite me, I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that. I'm still working on lifting my vibration and, you know, doing the energy work and just being me. And it is all about being who you are, not about the external crap. It's about focusing on who are you right now, right this minute, and not worrying about anything else. And that's me. And that's how I've gotten to where I am now.
And
Listening.
that hasn't, like, so everyone else understands, this hasn't happened overnight, has it?
This is a process of many, many years. I'm 31 this month. But I've been on the spiritual journey, starting since I was a teenager. More recently, since my youngest was born, so he's 5. But it's mostly the last 2 years have been the biggest jumps for me. And it's all about who I connected with, what I read, what I've seen, and who I've really connected with. Because for me, it's the biggest, connecting with people. I need people. I need to talk to people. I need to connect somehow. And if I don't, that's when I run into problems. That's when I've had depression, I've had anxiety, I've had, you know, lots of other stuff go on. But through that journey, I haven't ever given up. There's days that I've thought, I can't do this anymore. What the hell am I doing? I just can't keep doing it. People and connecting with people is what really got me out of it. They pulled me up. I had support when I didn't think I had anyone. Honestly, I thought I was alone. I would go through and I'm thinking, I'm so lonely. I'm all alone. I can't ask for help because I don't want to burden people. And you know what? You're not a burden. When you ask for help, people are there. And you know what? You can give back too. When you get into a better position, people that need help, you are in a better position to help them. So the support that you receive, it's never about taking, it's always giving and receiving. So when you're in a position and you need it, you receive. And then when you're able to, you can also give. So for me, it comes down to people.
You've brought up a really good point there too, is that the thing is that we think by asking for help we're being a burden, or even just asking for advice or anything like that. But think about when someone comes to you, how really good you feel when they say at the end, oh my God, that's really helped me. So who here feels really good when they help someone?
Yeah.
So what happens is that if you don't, like if you say to someone, oh no, I can do that by myself or what have you, is that you're denying them that good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really actually empowering to both of you to be able to ask for help. So I'm really proud of you, Alexis, because we have worked. Sorry, Peggy, go for it, darling.
I have a question, Alexis. I really liked what you said. Congratulations on all of your great work. I was just, what are some of the books that you've read, and what would be maybe one of your favorites?
I've read a lot. If you like, I'll post a list in the group because, I mean, Abraham's great. I've read a lot of his stuff. The biggest thing for me was Louise Hay, and really focusing on self-love and, you know, the positive. Yes. That was, You Can Heal Your Life was one of the biggest amazing books that I've ever read. And if there was only one book that I could recommend, that is the one, because it was from there, it was like a stepping stone. You really need to be okay with yourself, because if you're not okay with yourself, your world's going to reflect that. Everything around you is going to reflect that back at you. So you're going to have shitty relationships, you're going to have a bad, crappy job, or, you know, just everything. And if you can, like, I'm still working on my self-love, because I think it's a process. I'm nowhere near where I'd like to be physically, mentally, emotionally, but I'm okay where I am right now, because I know it's a process, and every day I get a little bit better at loving myself. And if that's the best I can do today, then that's the best I can do. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah. A couple of books that completely changed my life is there's 3 books under the Conversations with God banner. They are, especially the end of book 3, they talk about highly evolved beings, and how highly evolved beings live, and it's completely different. They live in this amazing world that there's no competition, there's no scarcity, there's no lack, there's peace and love and everything else. And you read about how they live and how we live completely differently to that. And what that just goes to show is that we just need to change our beliefs and change our habits, and we can live in that world.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's so good. So yes, I'm very proud of you, Alexis. It's been tough for you every now and then, but I love the listening. Like, you've really, really clicked onto the listening. And when I say listening, like, a lot of people think that when there's a message from the universe or from spirit or God or whatever, they think it's his shining star and you're supposed to see them standing in front of you, and it's like this amazing thing. But actually it just comes through as a thought. It's just a thought. Like what I said to you, Modja, before, is that if you want to connect with your grandmother, you close your eyes, you see her in your mind, you say hello in your mind to her, and in your mind you'll get a thought back, and that is her. So this is how they communicate with us, is that they put thoughts into our heads. Now, what I teach in my coaching groups and one-on-ones is that we act on those thoughts. Now, once you start acting on them, oh my God, they just come really quickly and things start happening really quickly. So what happens is that you might put an offering out there or something that you're wanting to help people with, but then all of a sudden there's another thing. So then you've put that out there, and then you're on to the next thing, and then on to the next thing. What happens is that the ones that you've put out there beforehand start booking up, because you're not focusing on them, you've let them go, and they just start flowing, and you just keep evolving, and you start to help a lot more people. And that's where there's this thing about the sales funnel and all that sort of thing. I just call it like a vibration vortex or something like that, because it's just starting with just the basics, and then just letting all the new inspired ideas and thoughts come through, which in actual fact is the universe guiding you as to what is next for you, your purpose. And everyone says, well, what is my life purpose? Well, your purpose is right now. When you get a thought, act on it straight away. Don't think about it. And you'll find too that when you act that way, you get into the habit of not having any doubts. You get into the habit of not knowing the hows. You get into the habit of, oh, I can't do that, or I can't, oh, I wonder what people will think, or whatever, because you're just in action mode. And it's awesome. It's such a good place to be. The thing is that you start to find that there'll be lots of them, and you end up living your life like this, which is just Post-it notes everywhere. You don't see this other half of my office. You just see the nice part. But there's Post-it notes everywhere. But I actually have specific books that they're going into. And then when I'm ready to write that book, when I'm ready, like I've already written a book by not actually sitting down and writing it. It's just Post-it notes, Facebook pages, all that, those different things has enabled me to do that. So whenever a thought comes through, act on it immediately. Don't think about it. Just do it. If you say to yourself, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do that, you've already put a block up there. Get the thought and then know the universe will guide you. I got a little bit of a download the other day about Noah and how Noah was given this thought. You need to build an ark. He's like, okay, I don't really even know what an ark is, but I'm sure it'll happen. I know that I'm meant to work with God because he hears more of a booming voice than we do. So okay, I'm going to set up this ark. I'm going to do this ark. So he didn't think, well, where am I going to get the materials from? Who's going to help me? He just said, okay, God, I'm going to help you. I'm going to build an ark. All of a sudden, these trees just grew up from nowhere. There's the materials. All of a sudden, these creatures came along and helped him. And he built an ark. He still didn't really know how he was going to build it and why, but he just did it. And then look what happened. So this is where, if we just act on that inspired thought that comes through, it is a message from up there saying, this is your purpose. So if you want to know what your life purpose is, it's right now. The thought you have right now is your purpose, and act on it.
Can I just add to that as well? Music, especially if you get songs or a particular, lyrics, anything like that. I find this morning I had Eagle Rock in my head. I was like, do the Eagle Rock. Anyway, I put it on YouTube and I listened to it. And one of the first parts of the song was about stepping out. Yeah. And I thought, oh my goodness, that is me stepping out of my comfort. And it was confirmation that where I'm going is like, yep, you're doing cool. And that's for me, like I always look for the message in either a thought, something random usually. Music is big. I love music, and the lyrics, especially, or if you hear a conversation and you just hear one little part of it and you go, oh my, okay, what was that?
Yeah. And
just take the message from it. And I always do that. Also, the other thing was Celestian Prophecy, that particular book. Wow, Peggy, I love that book. So
I'll write that one down.
just a FYI. I had it in my head. I had to tell you. So, okay.
So I always say, if you see it, hear it, experience it. So this is another thing that we all need to know, is that if someone treats us a certain way, or if we have an experience, it's all magically planned that we need to go through that to get something from it. So usually if someone treats us a certain way, it's actually them mirroring how we treat ourselves and what we need to stop to move forward. There's so many messages. We get thousands a day, thousands of messages a day. It could be, Facebook's an awesome place to see messages, because you'll see the same post time and time again. You'll read a newspaper and then you'll see something on the television, which is the same thing. I get a lot of messages from movies. Oh my God, how many messages do I get from movies, where I'll watch one movie and then I'll watch another movie. I'm like, oh my God, it's the same message. Like, that is random. Well, it's not so random, but this is how we get the messages. And like Alexa said, when you overhear a conversation, you are meant to hear that conversation. There's messages everywhere. We just need to open our eyes and open our minds. Any questions on that one? Because that was a bit of a big one. And thank you, Alexis, for helping us out there. All good? Okay, so we'll move on to Eve. Beautiful. Hello, darling. Hit me with your question.
Hi, it's so good to finally have a conversation with you.
I know. Nice to see you.
Thanks. So I guess interestingly enough, I know we're talking about our businesses, but I recently, I needed to step away from my business for a moment, because I'm like a bull. I'm just, full speed ahead and make things happen, and things have been excellent. And I just knew that I needed to step away and get a little bit more balance back into my life. And I just knew intuitively I was supposed to start dating at that moment. And things were going really, really well. And about a couple of months ago, I experienced something traumatic. And I have some pretty interesting karma, I think, because this is not the first time in my life that I've had extreme ups and downs. And I don't look at things in terms of polarity any longer, like, oh, this is so horrible, because I just know that whatever it is that I'm going through at that moment, I will pull through it and will come out with unbelievable strength. And it's happened many, many times, to the point where it's almost like, could I just have a little bit more of a relaxed life now? Like, I've had enough of this extreme growth in any regard. So this traumatic issue that came up a few months ago just sort of tainted this relationship that I was in. And the relationship ended as a result. And so I'm trying to focus on my business again, and just feeling very unresolved with that relationship. And it's actually taking quite a bit of a mental toll, to the point where I'm not focusing on my business.
Yeah.
So I know I need to like deal with this thing and resolve it so that I can get back to everything else. So
let's get the message for you out of it first, and I think that'll help you to move forward. So when you look at the experience that you've just gone through, what did you learn about yourself out of that?
I think it's a little challenging because I'm still coming out of the tunnel, if you will.
Okay. Let's go back then, and it's up to you as to what you share.
Sure.
But the experience will say a lot about how you're going to move forward. So if there's as much information as you can share with us around what you experienced.
Sure. So there was a traumatic event, and I think thereafter I started displaying signs of PTSD, unaware that that was what was going on at the time. I just knew my behavior was suddenly becoming quite strange. Waking up in the middle of the night, having nightmares, extreme anxiety. And after a couple of weeks of this, I disassociated and spent quite a few weeks in a disassociative state, not even recognizing how withdrawn I was. I mean, I knew something was wrong. I'm like, my heart is totally closed off, which is not me. I'm normally walking around with my heart just like completely wide open. And it was just so strange going, why am I not feeling anything? I'm not feeling anything. Like, what is this? So it was a very strange place to be.
So the thing that's coming through for that is that somehow you're going to use that experience to help other people with.
I'm sure.
I don't really know what it is, but that's what I'm kind of getting, is that you're meant to be helping other people with what it is that you went through. Do you think you've still got PTSD?
Yes, and I'm still working through some of the residual effects from that. I mean, it's I know anytime I go through one of these major health challenges, you know, car accidents and trauma and, you know, illness of some sort, every time I come out of it, I'm using it to help people. So that wasn't strange to me in this sense. Like, this has been going on for, you know, more than a decade. So, I mean, I knew that this was some part of me being the wounded healer, having to experience the injury to be able to take it back to others. I think, like I said, the thing that's really driving me crazy is the fact that this relationship was impacted by this, and I can't seem to get out of that process of, do I try to heal this relationship? What do I do?
Well, there'll be a connection with the two as to why they've both happened at the same time. So what is it that what is it about the trauma that has affected the relationship?
The trauma, I was actually dating two guys, and the trauma happened with one of them. And I just thought, okay, I've resolved that. It's not a big deal. And then unfortunately it was coming up unconsciously with the second one. He doesn't know what's going on with me. I'm freaking out like in his presence. And it just, I transferred the trauma onto the second individual.
Okay. Would you say the trauma put you into a victim state?
I think everything was happening on an unconscious level. So there was nothing about me thinking, oh, I've been, you know, but I think on an unconscious level, it was the most destabilizing event that I've ever experienced. You know, not only rocking my trust in, you know, intimate partners, but almost rocking my trust in all of humanity.
And yourself.
Oh, yes. I mean, completely. It was, like I said, the deepest experience I think I've ever had out of anything that I've been through.
Okay. So the best thing to do is for you to start working on this is to start really looking at ways that you can start trusting yourself more. So is there a little bit of blame of either going into that situation?
There was, and I think the work that I've been doing now is to go within and to integrate all of my strongest parts, and to spiritually integrate, because obviously when you're spiritually integrated, nothing can hurt you. You know, nothing can hurt you.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of that work. I've been doing MDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprogramming. It's really quite a fascinating method. I think with post-traumatic stress disorder, you disassociate from your frontal lobe, so you can't actually like process what's happening. You're just in this fear state. So it's about getting the two brains back together, so the unconscious and the conscious mind are actually working together to say, okay, this isn't happening anymore. This is an event that took place, and we can put it into context and go forward with it. So
yeah, so I've actually done a lot of work with PTSD, and basically what happens is it's just stopping the body from going into the fight or flight reaction when something triggers it, pretty much, which, as you said, is the relationship. So the relationship would have been the thing that triggered it. So I can talk to you a little bit about that later, because it takes 3 minutes to clear it. But
that would be amazing.
Yeah. But the thing is that there's still something to learn from it. And when I say there's something to learn from it, when I was working with my guides, and I first started doing work in past life, and I was clearing all this past life from people, and I was saying to my guides, I'm saying, well, if I'm clearing past life trauma in people and their life changes now, how are they learning anything? Like, they've not learned from this trauma. And you know what they said to me? They said, it's not the learning that they need to do, it's the letting go.
Exactly. I believe that.
We all think that we need to learn this big lesson, but the learning is the letting go. So the letting go and then bringing that trust back in will be the biggest way for you to move forward. Now, then I can hear you questioning, okay, how do I do that? And it's just by going inside every day. Now, you heard about all the different voices and everything else. It's looking at that little pinky toe and going, oh, I love you, and looking at that little finger and just starting to love every little piece of you. Because when we turn our back on ourselves and don't trust ourselves and have things that are holding us back, it stops us from really connecting with ourselves and loving who we are. And so even just the little, I love you, little pinky, like just starting with the little things and then starting to go more and more into loving the whole you, that's where the magic happens, because love is the most powerful force. An exercise that I do with a lot of people is in your heart. You can do a visualization where you close your eyes and you go into your heart and you start to build up all the energy in your heart, which is I call love energy. And so you can build it up and then get that to send through to your body. And you can see all this color, whatever color it is for you. For me, it's red. Other people, it's green. It might be white. And you get it to spread right through your body. So you're getting this love energy going right through your body. Now, as that's going through your body, it's healing it. So try that one. And also focusing on that whenever something comes up, you ask yourself, how is the best way I can let go of this? And then the first answer that comes to mind is the answer.
Sounds good. Yeah, I feel very confident. Like I said, it's sort of like I'm in the tunnel and nearly out of the tunnel, but you don't stop when you're in the tunnel. You keep going until you're out. So I feel really confident.
I'll show you where we can clear that in 3 minutes. We'll do that another time.
Excellent. Yeah, no, and it's like, I mean, I am light years from where I was 3 weeks ago. And the acupuncture.
Well, everyone give her a clap. She's done really, really well.
Oh, thanks. No, I appreciate that. Again, I think what keeps coming up though is, do I reach out and try to, try and mend this relationship that got so terribly awry in this process?
Well, the best relationship is the one with yourself.
Of course.
And you know what? That one will just come full circle, whatever's meant to happen. So this is when we focus on ourselves and go within and really just focus on how we feel and focusing on our strengths and how we look after ourselves. And that's where other people will mirror that. And so don't think about anyone else. Don't even think about that relationship. Think about you. Can you already feel how your energies come back? By just focusing on you. You're not kind of spreading it out. And then whatever happens, happens. Because whatever's meant to happen will. And trusting that.
Absolutely.
Does that help?
It does. I mean, and that's what I've been doing. The moment it ended, I just said, "Yep, time to work on me." Like, there's no other solution to this other than just getting this resolved. And I guess because it's been several weeks now that I've been I mean, I'll tell you, like, business stopped. It was like acupuncture twice a week, therapist, massage, everything that's going to the beach, going, yep, I'll get this, just all about me right now. And thankfully my business is set up in a way now where I can completely take a month off and go and play and just do self-care, which is awesome. But yeah, now it's starting to come back up, going, do I reach out? No,
I wouldn't reach out. I would just focus on the relationship within, and whatever happens. It's always a nice surprise when that happens too. If something does happen, it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I want to now go on to Janine. Janine, are you there, darling? She's just skipped off. Janine. I might have a quick chat with Penny. Penny, we're actually catching up in about half an hour, but welcome.
I know. I was just setting my hello, everybody, and thank you for. I just set Zoom up, and something I pressed, and all of a sudden I was in my kitchen. I could hear all these beautiful ladies laughing and talking, and I went, "What's going on?" And I realised that I've joined in. And then what you were talking about, it was like, oh, I need to listen to the answer about this. So I think it was a beautiful coincidence, and just thank you for, I just loved witnessing the last 3 or 4 ladies that I heard speak. It's from the, post-traumatic that hit a bell with me, and with listening to voices and all of that kind of stuff. So so thank you for letting me drop into your group the way that I just dropped in.
But you know what? There's never coincidences, so you're meant to be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
my PTSD is helping others already.
Hey, it's working already, girlfriend. So yeah, absolutely.
That's
sort of
awesome.
dissociation.
Yeah.
May I have a question? If it was about similar to, it's about embodying. It's like I can feel, I feel like the answers are all here, and I've got those voices, and I have a practice as well that's, I'm a naturopath and astrologer, but I feel like I'm removed. There's something within me that's blocking the embodiment of that business really being in a flow. It's very stop starting, and that's because my energy is a bit I stop start. I can't seem to embody the flow. It's something within me that again, it's just outside of me. It's not in. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, or whether we can just.
When you say stop start, like everything stop start, what it's doing is it's just mirroring something in you. So where are you feeling like you're stopping and starting yourself?
Body wise,
just from a life wise.
It's probably that disassociation a little bit as well, just from a very traumatic experience, and that's 10 years ago now. But that sort of still perhaps has a few unresolved things coming through, domestic abuse, and just nearly losing my life, and being pregnant, so therefore having a child, and it completely changing my last 10 years of being off the track of being very successful in my practitioner, being a up and coming practitioner, and having a complete cut off emotionally, mentally, financially, and I haven't been able to get that flow back because of my obligations with running my house and making my own money and raising my son single-handedly. So
I think because we're going to be catching up in half an hour, or we may as well catch up straight after this, but pretty much it's a matter of just clearing that, which we'll do, and then allowing that to keep going. Because that would be one of the things that's holding you back. Is just hanging on to that trauma. So so that'll help by clearing that, and then you can test a measure and see how it goes after that. So we'll talk about that. So Janine's just left, but Modja, I had another message for you, and it was it's kind of is there any kind of impatience in getting, like moving forward or getting information?
Impatience? I think I do have a level of impatience. Like, I feel like, I think I kind of feel like I don't know what I'm doing. So then I'm like, I am actually like looking for answers. And then I also kind of get busy because I have a family and I have my kids. And then this past week I got extra busy with my kid because, she was offered some drugs at school, and it totally took me off. So I had to become really in touch closer with her and kind of talk to her and dig deeper and see what's going on, and kind of remind her that, that's why I dropped everything and that's why I'm here. To help her to sort things out. So I basically put everything else that I was doing on hold. And to some extent, I was thankful that, I don't have to go, to work. I don't have to do those things, and I can just focus on this aspect. So yeah,
that's really interesting, actually. So really what I'd like everyone to be in the stage of doing is even like doing the work that they're doing, is that it's something that, so like, when you're helping your daughter, how it's really important, and it's really like, it's so important to help her. This is where I'd like to see your focus for work as well, is that your work, it doesn't feel like work. It's just that purpose that you have to go and do that and help them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So listen, so that feeling that you had about dropping the work and helping your daughter, that's the feeling that you should focus on when you're moving forward with helping people, is that the work that you're doing, is that the money doesn't even matter. Like, the money just comes. The universe will give you the money when you're doing your purpose. Now, when you were working with your daughter, this is like important. And you don't know that working with her and you helping her, you don't know that could then lead to something else. But just taking each day and looking at what you're doing with your family, with friends, with however you decide to live your day is, and that's what I said, using external experiences as part of the journey. They're all telling you something. So having that feeling, that will actually ensure for everyone a successful business. When it doesn't matter about the money, you're just doing your purpose and really helping someone without like giving 150% without even thinking about anything else. And that's why that's happened for you, is so you know what that feels like. So now you're going to be keeping that feeling as a measure as to when you know you're on the right track. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And again, like, if there's any impatience around it, you can go, oh, universe, you're funny. I'll just let that go, because that's going to be a block. And that was the message I got for you, is that if there's impatience, like, it's kind of like they were testing you a little bit to see how you would go with this answer. Because, I mean, as Alexis said, this is the key to moving forward, is to be going within. And I think there was a little bit of reluctance to go, well, hang on a sec, I want the answer. It's like, oh, hang on a sec, you go within, and then you'll always have the answer. Yeah?
Yes.
So there's a couple of different things going on for you, is letting go of the impatience, going within, and really just getting your own answer. Test yourself. When you want to know the answer to something and you go to message on Facebook, it's funny because I'll message something on Facebook, oh, I'm having a trouble with this. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, I know the answer. Don't worry, because that's the way it works.
Yes.
You get the answer yourself. Now, it's really good sometimes to maybe double check with someone, but at the end of the day, you can get the answers yourself. And you can see again where, without even having to check with someone else, you can keep moving through quicker with more information that's coming through and dealing with that. Does that feel better?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay,
Yes.
So I've got a message from Janine saying she's getting kicked off, so she's not come back. I don't know why she would be though. So I'll just see if she can, I'll just say try again and see if she can come back on. Because I'm sure she's got a really good question to ask. Well, we all do, don't we? So any questions before we hear back from her? No? Yes? No? Any comments? No? We're all happy?
So I want to just ask a question as far as the work. So right now I'm doing a lot of the legwork of the work, like, the logistics, the website, figuring out the opt-ins, I'm figuring out this and that. And that's why I get puzzled at times, is like, I really don't want to just do the work.
You're getting confused and puzzled is because you're trying to figure it out.
Yes.
So there's no figuring out in this work. Like when you're working with inspired inspiration from the universe, like when you're working with your purpose, is that you just do things when you want to do them. Sounds hilarious because we've been taught the opposite. You have to work hard and you have to do this and you have to do that. In actual fact, what happens is that you can sit there for 3 days and not achieve anything because you're making yourself do it. Whereas I spoke to Sarah Leather the other day and she was saying, she just got an idea and she typed it up and there was her new opt-in. Do you know what I mean? Or there was her new offering. In half an hour, you can create something when you're meant to. So let it go and just let everything go. I want you to just let go of any kind of preconceived notions that you have to work hard, that you have to do even opt-ins, you have to do anything, and just allow the thoughts to come to you as to what you're meant to do. It's a different way of being. It's a little bit.
I like that.
It's easy. I
like that.
Easy. Oh, good. I'm really pleased. And you can always post in the group and just go, just say, having trouble with this or whatever, and all of us will probably all come in and go, remember, it's easy. It just has to be inspired. It just has to be a thought that comes up, and then you just do it, and it happens so quickly. You can't imagine how quickly that it happens. And it's awesome. Like you look at it and go, oh my God, that's amazing. I could never have done it if I tried.
Yes.
Can't wait to see it. Okay, Alexis. Yes, darling.
I just wanted to also add to that is I actually blogged about this the other day. Is I know when I'm not in the flow and I'm pushing, and like everything around us says you got to push hard, you got to work hard, you got to do all these things like opt-ins and mailings and all this physical clutter, and I consider it clutter. I don't even have a mailing list. I have not focused on it, and I still got clients this year. I'm like, okay, cool. So for me, I just wanted to add to that is, just go with the flow. I don't push myself anymore. I don't think I have to do this, this, and this. I have a to-do list, and I don't have a date on it. I've just got a list of things that I'd like to get to. But if I push myself to do it, they're not going to happen. If I go, okay, what do I feel like working on today? Then it's just, I'll get to it when I get to it. And it's not like I'm being lazy about it. It's not like I'm going to make myself go on a guilt trip. I'm going to work with the flow and work with the energy. And when you work with the energy and with your guides and, everything goes so much better. And then before you know it, you're a couple of years down the track and you go, my life has completely turned around. And you could think, how did I do that? It's because you went with the flow.
Yeah. And the feeling, like you're saying, like you go with the feeling. If you want to do something, you do it. And that whole thing around laziness is just an old belief. Be as lazy as you want, because you know what? If you can turn out an opt-in in half an hour, go and have a sleep, God, because you can just do whatever. You don't have to do anything. And the other thing too is that when you work with the old system, which is why I could call it the old system, is that it creates a beating yourself up process. Because if you don't do it this way, then you beat yourself up. If you don't get done what you're meant to do, you beat yourself up. And it lowers your vibration so quickly that that's where you create this procrastination. In this kind of flow and this kind of work method, there is no procrastination. There is no, if there was something that you really love to do, you would never put that off. So if there's procrastination, it just means you're not meant to do it. You're not in love with it. So, yay! Okay, my darlings, I'm going to say goodbye. So thank you for joining me on my first ever group call for Q&A. If you've got any questions or anything else, please pop it in the group and we can always chat further. If there's any comments or feedback, I'd love to hear from you. And we'll see you online. Love you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.